Dodge has a long history of building kind of quirky, small crossover vehicles, from the Dodge Caliber back in 2006 to the Nitro that came out in 2007, and now this, the Dodge Hornet. And while the Caliber shared a platform with Mitsubishi and Jeep, and the Nitro shared a platform with Jeep, the Hornet actually shares a platform with Alfa Romeo. And that's most obvious when you jump inside and take a look at the interior, which we will here in just a second, but first. So quickly, let's touch on the models offered here for the Hornet. This is a 2023. In 2023, when it was launched, it only came in two model variations, the GT and the GT Plus. This is a GT Plus. For the 2024 model year, you have the addition of the RT and RT Plus, and that's a whole new hybrid powertrain that Dodge is putting in that vehicle. It's going to give it more power and more efficiency. So we look forward to that. We'll talk more about the powertrain here in a bit, but this is the Hornet GT Plus. And of course, all trim levels of the Hornet are all-wheel drive. Let's take a look at the exterior design here. All right, and first off, exterior, it is a crossover. You can see that that suspension is raised pretty high. First thing to notice is the paint color. It is Acapulco gold, almost a more bronzish color. Definitely stands out. The Hornet captures Dodge's muscular DNA and design vocabulary. The hood features integrated heat extractors for a performance-focused appearance, while the front also incorporates a mail slot style grille opening sculpted into the front fascia. And that mail slot grille helps to enhance the wideness look of this thing. You have the really skinny headlights there, full LED, and then you got the big grille towards the bottom, flanked by side vents. This vehicle is equipped with the Track Pack, which includes these 20-inch by 8-inch Abyss finish wheels with all-season tires and red painted calipers. Of course, you can see that Hornet badge on the fender there, very menacing. Side mirrors are gloss black and they do power fold on lock. They also have integrated turn signals. Around the back, we do have the Hornet badge and the GT badge. And then we have the tail lamps that extend the width of the vehicle and features the Dodge logo as a signature in the middle of those tail lamps. No real visible exhaust to be seen here, but overall, a really good look. All right, let's quickly talk about the dimensions of this thing. Your total length is 178 inches, wheelbase of 103.8 inches. Total height is 63.8 inches, width is 82 inches, and we have an 8-inch ground clearance. And again, really like the design. It's a good size vehicle, definitely a good design, but let's go ahead and pop the hatch, check out the cargo volume. Now it is a power lifting hatch, and because of the size of this thing, it does have a really good amount of cargo space. You're looking at 27 cubic feet total of cargo volume. Now, if you get the hybrid version, the RT, you're going to sacrifice a little bit of cargo volume because it's got the batteries towards the back, but this one has 27 cubic feet. You can fold that second row seating down to get a total of 54.7 cubic feet. Again, really good amount of space here. You can chunk a lot of stuff. We do have a cover that's here that can be taken off. You've got a light back here. You've got an accessory plug. With that, let's pop the hood and check out what powers this Hornet. All right, again, the 2023 models, both the GT and GT Plus have the same engine option. And Dodge says that this is the industry's quickest and most powerful utility vehicle under $30,000, which we'll talk about the price towards the end of this video. This GT is powered by the Hurricane 4 engine. It's a 2.0 liter turbocharged inline 4 with direct fuel injection and engine start-stop technology. You're looking at 268 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque. And thankfully, that is matched up to a 9-speed automatic transmission, not a CVT. You also get a sport mode, and again, this is all-wheel drive and can tow up to 2,000 pounds. Now the RT models get a 1.3 liter turbocharged engine, but that is a hybrid engine. It pushes 288 horsepower, 383 pound-feet of torque, and is matched up to a 6-speed automatic transmission. And with that hybrid system, you can go up to 30 miles on EV power only, which is always nice. And again, the RT also is only an all-wheel drive, so no matter what trim model that you get, you're looking at an all-wheel drive platform. And I'm really excited to show you guys the power that this thing has. But before we can do that, I want to take a look at the interior, starting with the rear seats. Then we'll move up to the front, take a look at all the tech that it has, and then we'll take it for a drive. All right, here in the rear seats, this is a compact crossover, so it's more tight. But I do have plenty of knee room here. I have room for my feet. Sitting up straight, headroom is pretty tight for me. I'm 6'1", bigger guy, but kind of just barely fit back here. Had the kids 3 wide back here during the week, and although it was a little bit tight side to side, they fit a lot better for height. So it's a decent size, but not really a family man's vehicle. You do have your own AC vents back here. You've got your own USB Type-C and USB Type-A charging port. We have a pull-down armrest with cup holders and a pass-through to the trunk. And of course, really nice seating materials, really cool look, which of course extends into the front as well. So let's go ahead and jump into the driver's seat and kick it on and check out the rest of the interior. I do want to show you really quickly getting in the driver's seat here, basically in the car at all. Again, it does have an 8-inch ground clearance. It's got a pretty thick frame, high step in, and kind of a lower roof. So when I'm getting in, you definitely have to kick the leg up pretty high and duck down and kind of fall in. Not terrible, but I did find myself kicking this and tripping myself up quite a few times during the week. I'm sure you get used to it, but something to consider. All right, here in the driver's seat, a lot to go over, a lot to look at, including these seats and all the tech. Let me pick you up and give you a good look around. So we do have a nice mix of leather, suede, and red accents throughout the seating material here in this GT Plus. And this is thanks to the track pack that is on this trim. Much nicer than the standard GT that we drove in our previous video. We also have nice black trimming, black leather with red stitching along the door and the dash. You can see our Harman Kardon audio system speakers right there. Let's go ahead and kick it on. It is a push button start. Now you can see that 10.25 inch main screen display here. It is a touch screen display. Lots of features. It is the Uconnect 5 system, which is now Android based and is really great. You do get Apple CarPlay, Android Auto integrations, no problem there. We get full surround view cameras, which is a great feature. You can see our seats are also heated seats, and we have a heated steering wheel, and they're easy to access there at the top. Down below the screen, we have our AC and heat vents, all of our AC and heat controls, and then beside our start button here, we have the auto shut off button to turn off that auto engine shut off. We've got a USB Type-C and USB Type-A charging port, a 12-volt accessory charging port, and then a wireless phone charger. So you can just throw your phone down there and it will start wirelessly charging. We do have a traditional gear shifter. You can push it over for manual shift mode. Reverse does bring up the full 360 camera. Volume rocker is right here. Electronic parking brake. Quick buttons for our ESC off and our parking sensors off. Cup holders. Nice cushion on the armrest here and pretty good size cubby. Next up is the steering wheel. A bit of a flat bottom here. Nice grooves for your hands. Really comfortable to hold. Really sporty feeling. thick leather wrapped perforated leather. All of your cruise control and safety buttons here, more interface buttons over here, and of course a large sport button. We'll get into that as we drive. We have a fully digital driver display. It can change around a bit depending on what drive mode you're in. You can also thumb through a bit of different information here. It's a little bit of different customization. It's a little complicated to figure out versus other fully digital displays that I've used even in Dodge products, but it all works and it shows you what you need to see, which is the important part. Steering wheel is tilt, telescope, easy to get in a good position. Lighting controls to the left-hand side. All your standard controls on the doors. No sunroof or panoramic sunroof or anything in this trim, which is completely fine by me. The track pack option that we have also includes aluminum door sills and bright pedals. That's a quick look at the interior here. Pretty sure I covered everything. If you've got any other questions, leave them down in the comments, but let's get this thing out on the road. All right, let's put it into gear and start going. So I've mentioned it a few times already, but I did drive the Hornet at an event that we had. It was the base GT. Got to spend about 10-15 minutes in it, and I really came away with that enjoying the Hornet. And I got to say, jumping in it this week, it's a lot more harsh of a ride than I remember. I don't know if it's a difference in suspension between this GT Plus with the track pack versus the base GT that we had, but it is noticeably a rough ride. That being said, it's probably my only gripe about the drive, and if you're using this thing as a sporty crossover, that rough ride isn't going to bother you at all. Overall, the seating position is super comfortable. The height of the roof, for the driver at least, is super comfortable. Everything's easy to touch. You can get in a really good seating position with the steering wheel. It definitely has that sports car feel with a little bit of a driver focused cabin. You definitely forget that you're up a little bit higher, which could be a bad thing. If you're doing some really tight turns, you definitely need to watch out. I definitely think this has potential of being a really good kind of rally-ish car with that ground clearance and the power that it has. Of course, every time I've driven it, it's been on road, so take that for what you will. The power, even out of this base powertrain, is plenty for this vehicle. It can get up and go. It doesn't sound great, but it definitely gets up and goes and feels good. And again, you have quick access to your sport mode by hitting the button on your steering wheel. So reaching for our sport mode here, it does unlock a sharper throttle, optimize shift schedule, access the full power and torque of the engine, give you a bit tighter of steering, and stiffens up the suspension if you have the dual stage valve shocks, which we do here thanks to the track pack offered here. And no matter if you have the sport mode on or off, the steering feel is really nice. Of course, with the sport mode on, the steering is a bit more tight, which is always nice. You are higher up, so going into turns there is some roll, but it's not terrible. 0 to 60 in the GT is rated at 6.5 seconds. The RT shaves a 1.5 seconds off of that. And we'll get to a back road where we can actually test that out. But first, we're having a little bit of fun on these turns. All right, we're coming up on a pretty secluded back road, which means we can give you a bit of an acceleration test. We are in sport mode. We do not have any kind of paddle shifts, although you can manually shift from the shifter, like I mentioned before. But we're not going to do that. We're just going to gun it and go. So come to a complete stop. Ready, set, go. A little bit of lag, and that's pulling. 60. So felt decent. Again, it's rated at 6.5 seconds, 0 to 60. Felt like it could have been close to that. Definitely a little bit of lag, but once it grips with that all-wheel drive system, you really just get shot back. And this can push you back in the seat, so Not a bad feel at all. You also have a slew of the safety features and setting the cruise control on here with the radar guided cruise control and the lane keeping assist. Works really well. I'd put it up there towards the top when talking about some of the assisted driving. It's always a really good feature and can easily be engaged or disengaged depending on what you want to be doing in your vehicle at the time. So talking about the fuel efficiency, the Hornet GT has an EPA rating of 21 mpg city and 29 highway with a combined of 24, and we're sitting just under 24 miles per gallon, which I think is pretty good for the full week that we've had it. With that, I think it's time to pull back over. We'll talk about the price and we'll start wrapping up the review there, but let's get to it. All right, guys, and with that, you're probably wondering, what's the price of this thing? So the base price for the base GT starts just over $30,000. I'm assuming that got raised because a lot of their marketing material says that it's one of the most powerful CUVs under $30,000, but the base is now just over $30,000. This one, the GT Plus, has a base just over $35K, and the MSRP of what we're sitting in here is just under $42K. So that seems a little high maybe, but is probably just about right for the market. Of course, if you're looking at the RT, that's going to shoot up even more. But let's jump out. I'll give you some of my final thoughts and we'll wrap the video here. So if you're a fan of the channel, you probably know that I did drive the Hornet at one of our events as a quick drive, kind of a first impressions video that we did on that. And I was left really impressed with the Hornet at that time. After a full week with the Hornet, I'm left a little less impressed. I do still think it is a really cool vehicle. It's great looking. It's got a nice interior, decent technology. It definitely turns heads. I got a ton of questions about it, mostly because of the color and just how new it is. And most people didn't know what it was. Even if they saw the Hornet badge, they had no idea it was a Dodge. So I did get stopped plenty of times to ask what exactly this thing was, and most people were very impressed with the looks of it. And again, I really like this size of vehicle, and compared to the competition out there, the looks are really cool. My biggest gripes again are the ride and handling are a bit stiff, a bit jarring sometimes, but everything else is pretty dialed in. So would I recommend it? Yeah, I think I would. If you're in the market for this size of vehicle, you're looking at its competition, and you're wanting something that is going to stand out a bit more, this is pretty nice. With that, I hope you did enjoy the video. Please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the Hornet. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. We do a different review every week. You can also go check out TXGARAGE.com, where we got a lot of written reviews as well as event and news coverage over there. And with that, guys, thanks for watching.